Hey guys, and happy Tuesday. So for today, I have a couple of quick and easy Dollar Tree DIYs and one little small thrift flip. So for the first DIY, we're going to be using one of these Easter Dollar Tree cutting boards that came out this year. And we're going to take off the little thumbtacks that are attached to it. And they come off fairly easily with, just sliding something underneath it. And then I'm going to take some of this chalkboard paint. And I got this one at Dollar General. And I'm just going to give this a couple of coats just onto that centerpiece. I was going to take the whole thing out, but I didn't want to have to do the whole gluing it back on and doing all that. So I just went ahead and I gave that 2 coats. And then I put the little thumbtacks back in the places where they were. Then I had this little Scrabble holder piece, the tile holder. I don't know where it came from because my Scrabble game has all the pieces, so I'm not really sure where this one came from. But nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and just give it a quick, like thin coat of this chalk paint that I made, my DIY chalk paint. And I love this stuff. It covers very well and it dries really, really quick. So that's why I like this. And if anybody wants the recipe, just let me know and I will give that to you. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue that tile holder onto the cutting board just so that I can use that as like a chalk holder or the eraser holder, whatever you want to put on there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I did, what do you call it? I did take a piece of chalk, rub it on there, and then erase it. I can't remember what it's called right now. But I went ahead and did that before I wrote on it. And then I'm just going to write today's menu on there. You can put whatever you want on there, notes or, a quote or anything like that. And this is what it looks like. So then my next DIY, this is really, really easy. I mean, easy. This is one of the candle holders from Dollar Tree. I got it this past summer. And then I got some rocks. You can get rocks at Dollar Tree. I've had these from the Target Dollar Spot for a couple years now, and I just use them and reuse them for different projects. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a bunch of these rocks in there. You can use rocks, you can use sand, you can, pretty much do whatever you want. You could even paint the little candle holder if you wanted to, but I liked the color. So I went ahead and just got some succulents that I got at Dollar Tree and realized I needed a few more rocks. So I just went ahead, added some more rocks in there, and I just put the succulent right on top. And that's just as easy as it is. You can put flowers in there or, just leave it, put a candle in there. You can do whatever you want, but I like the way that this succulent looked in there. And I just think it gave it a nice little touch, a little high-end look to it. And I just went ahead and added it to some of my decor that that I already had. So then for my next one, this is actually a thrift flip. I got this little, it was a little tray. I got it from a thrift store somewhere and it came like in a bag with a bunch of other stuff. But you could easily use a Dollar Tree, like one of those little shadow boxes, or you could even make one out of, paint stir sticks or whatever you want. Use a picture frame. You can do whatever use whatever you have on hand. So I just went ahead, took the little sticky label that was on the back, and then sanded off whatever, stuff was left over. I got this paper, little pad of paper from Hobby Lobby on clearance. So I'm going to go ahead and take my DIY chalk paint again, and I'm just going to do the same thing, kind of just give it a quick, it's not really a dry brush because it's a little bit thicker. I just wanted to cover up the wood a little bit just so that it matched the paper a little bit better. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm not going to do the inside, I'm just going to do the sides, like the inside wall and then the outside. And that's all I'm going to paint. I'm not going to paint the back and I'm not going to paint the inside. So then I'm going to go ahead, take a piece of this paper. It's not, I think it's like banner paper. But yeah, I'm not using it for that, obviously. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to measure it out. I'm going to take this piece off first, the part that has the hole in it. Then I'm going to measure it out. I can't talk today. I'm going to measure it out and then I'm just going to cut it down to size so that I can fit the paper inside of the box. And of course, if you don't have this type of paper, you can just paint the inside and make some shiplap lines, or you can use whatever, scrapbook paper you have, or just paint it. You don't even have to use paper. You can just paint it if you want to. So I measured it out, and then I went ahead and I used my paper cutter to trim the paper up. And obviously, if you don't have a paper cutter, just grab your scissors. I cannot cut a straight line to save my life. So even if I have a line already on there, I can't cut a straight line. So I love my little paper cutter, and I got this one at a thrift store for like $1 or something like that. And it works great for small projects like this. Then I'm just going to take my glue stick, and this is just a Dollar Tree regular glue stick, and I'm going to put that on the back of it. It's easier than using Mod Podge, especially for something small like this. You know, I don't want to have to break out a brush and do all that. And the glue stick works just fine. It stays on there and it doesn't, move around once it's dry. So it works out great for me. So I went ahead, put that in there, and I'm just going to use my ruler just to kind of smooth everything into the corners and whatnot, and make sure everything is in there and looks good. So once I'm done doing that, I have these little what are they called? These little flower pots, terracotta flower pots. I got these at a thrift store somewhere, and I've been using them. They came in like a pack of like 12, or I don't know, it was a bunch of them in a little baggie. And I've just been using them for a couple years now. I mean, I've had them for a long time, and there were so many of them. Seems like they're never ending. But I'm just going to go ahead, take my DIY chalk paint again, and just give this a quick coat of the white paint. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You can, some of the terracotta is still kind of showing through. I don't like the terracotta color. I never have. But I like the little pot. So, I'm just kind of dulling down that color, and I'm going to go ahead and just do one quick coat over the whole thing. And I'm also going to do the bottom and like the inside, like just the top ring of it, just so, in case it does show, it doesn't look, it matches the rest of it. So then once I am done giving that a coat, I'm going to take some of the floral foam, and I'm just going to cut a piece to fit inside of the flower pot. I don't like gluing my floral foam into my pots. Sometimes I have to, but for the most part, I just make it big enough that I can kind of squish it in there and it stays. So that's just me. I just don't like gluing them in there. Then I got these little roses from Dollar Tree here recently, and I think they're adorable, and I think they're perfect for these little flower pots. They're gonna kind of look like regular size flowers in this little bitty flower pot. So I'm just gonna cut a few, little stems off, along with some of the little leaves on the side. I wanted some of this greenery on the side, but it was just too big, so I just went ahead and cut some of the just the little leaves that were attached to the roses. And then I just arranged them in there, just, how I wanted them, till they looked the way that I wanted them to look. No rhyme or reason. You can use whatever flowers you have. You can use, a succulent. You can use anything that you have will work just fine. You can use, Dollar Tree has tons and tons of flowers, and even thrift stores. You can go to a thrift store, and they, sometimes they'll sell them in like bags just full of greenery and plants and flowers. So, definitely check out your local thrift stores, and always check out Dollar Tree because I love their flowers. Then I'm just going to take some of this, not rain, this green moss, whatever, the moss from the Dollar Tree, and just fill it up a little bit on the bottom just so you can't see that floral foam. And once I'm done doing that, I'm going to go ahead and hot glue the flower pot onto the base of the little frame there. And once I put it on there, the flower pot just looked kind of empty. I did put a little bit more hot glue on the bottom, and then I made a mess, so I had to clean it up. But it looked fine once I was done cleaning it up. And once I had it in there, it just looked kind of empty, so I did get a couple more little flowers and put those in there. And then once I'm done doing that, I got a piece of jute twine, and I put it on the back. Now you could very simply just put this like on a tier tray or something like that, but I wanted to hang it on my little shutter shelf that I made, and I'll include that in the description box, along with the video that I made, my little chalkboard eraser, like my mini chalkboard eraser. I'll put all that information in the description box so you can kind of see, how I made that stuff as well. So you're just going to go ahead, fill up your little flower pot and make it look how you want it to look. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who is watching, everybody who is new here, welcome, and anybody who is returning, thank you so much. And if you're so inclined, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. And please hit that like button and comment down below. Let me know which one of these is your favorite or what you might have done differently. So that is it for all of my little DIYs. I hope you were inspired to do something. And until next time, be blessed and be the reason someone smiles. Bye.